part, whole, or percent. So figuring out if you're going to use the triangle diagram, which I kind of described in the previous video, if you're going to do or use the triangle, then you definitely have to know the vocabulary part, whole, or percent. So I want to discuss with you these three vocabulary words, and it's very important that you understand how to differentiate these three items when you are dealing with material, especially when it works with percentage. Okay, so again, let me talk to you about what's going to happen here. When it comes to percentage quotient problems, we have the triangle diagram, which we showed as a previous example on the previous page, also in the previous video. So if you don't know this video, you need to watch the one prior to the one you're watching right now. So let's go back to this. So again, part, whole, and percent. It all starts first with your ability to read material and decide, is this number given the part? Is it the whole or the percent? Now, I want to talk to you about the easiest one to identify. Of the three, the easiest one to identify is the percent, because what it's going to be is it's going to be some number, right? It's going to be some number, but then it has the percent symbol attached to it. And if it has the percent symbol attached to it, well, guess what? That's the percent. So I don't even have to question myself. I can just look very simply and say, oh, that's the percentage. In fact, look at number 2. Just scan it. Do you see the percentage? Oh, did you see it right there? See? There it is. So again, of the 3 items, the percent is going to be the easiest one to identify. Look, I can see it clearly. I don't even need to really read too well because it comes with the percent symbol. I know that's the percent. Now, the ones that are going to give you issues are maybe the part and the whole. So when it comes to the part and the whole, I'm going to tell you the next easiest one to identify. And I think the next easiest one to identify is the whole. So when you're dealing with the whole, what it's going to sound like is everything or everybody. Okay, let's go ahead and we'll write that down. Okay, so again, it's gonna sound like everything or everybody. Now, you have to decide this, because when it comes to these videos, or I'm sorry, not these videos, these worded math problems that you're going to be listening to, they're not going to tell you, oh, by the way, this is the whole number. Nope. They're just going to tell you a situation, and you have to use context clues around these numbers to figure out, well, what is this? Is this the part? Is this the whole? And then the part. That's, I think, the more difficult of the two to figure out, because this is just a piece. It's a piece of everything, or everybody, if you want to say it like that. So this can be the most difficult one to hear. Let's try. Okay, look at number 1. Number 1 says 3 is what percent of 20? Now, sometimes students will say, well, Varon, it said the word percent, so 3 is the percent. And I'll say, no, no, no. Remember how you saw the other ones prior, you saw the symbol that went with them. That's a percentage. Okay. 3, you notice there is no percent symbol attached to it. It is not a percentage. So 3 is what percent of 20? 3 is a real number. So is the number 20. And what I mean by real number, I mean, this is actually something you can touch. I can touch the number 3, but I can't touch 3% or 40%. You can't touch it. It's an idea. But 3 and 20, yeah, I can definitely see both of those numbers. So here we go. 3 is what percent of 20? Now, I'm going to identify the number 20, and I'm going to say, what do you think? And I'm going to help you. You know the percent is not up there, right? So you either have the part and the whole. I'm going to tell you, the part and the whole are both up there. The 3 and the 20. One of them is the part. One of them is the whole. But I'm going to start with the number 20 first, because When it comes to hearing the whole, I think it's the easier of the two to hear. 3 is what part of 20. 3 is what piece of 20. 3 is what percent of 20. 20 sounds like the everything or the everybody, right? So if it sounds like the everything, then it's the whole. Okay, so 20 is my whole. That automatically makes 3 the part. Okay, so if 20 is the whole, then 3 is the part. Let's go ahead and try and take a look at number 2. Now, we've been given two numbers, right? We were given 40 and 30%. Now 30, we already said that's the percent. Then the question is, okay, if I know 30 is the percent, then the only thing left over is the 40. I need to decide what that is. Now, again, remember, the only way to decide what it is not by the number itself, but it's with the information that they tell you as other context or other clues to what that 40 could be. So you have to read that information in order to understand what it is. There are 40 students in a class. Now, if I told you that, I just said, hey, there are 40 students in my class. Does that sound like it's everyone? Does that sound like it's everybody? You should say yes. I mean, not just because it's the number 40, it's because of the words I said around it. There are this many students in my class. Well, that sounds like everyone. So the 40 I call whole. So I have been given 40 as the whole and 30% as the percent. Let's try number 3. I already see that I've been given the number 30 and I've been given the number 24. So you'll notice that there is not a percent symbol that goes with either of these numbers. So you know you have not been given the percent. That is not up there. Okay. They did not give you that. You know that 30 and 24 are either the part or the whole. Your job is to figure out which one is which. So go ahead and pause the video, read the sentences, and decide what is the 30. Is that the part of the whole? And then look at the 24. Is that the part or the whole? Go ahead and pause. Okay. What did you decide about the 30? So again, remember, you have to use the context around it. The number doesn't matter. A baseball team played this many games throughout their entire season. Do you hear that word in there? That word entire gives context to the meaning of the 30. It says that that's everything. That's all of them. So this is my whole. That's all the games, right? They won 24. They won this many games. Well, if they won 24, that's only part because they lost some too, right? That's one of the things that I try to teach students to start thinking about also is what information did they give you, but also what's missing. Okay, so the 24 is the part that they won. Another context clue or another idea I always tell students while I'm in class, I said, okay, if that's the part that they won, can you tell me the number of the losses? This is a question I like to ask while I'm in class on this specific question, because then it really gets them to think about what's been given. But they told me they played 30 games. They won 24 of them. That's the part they won. So they also lost 6, right? Because 30 minus 24, that the ones that they won, leaves 6. And the 6 are the ones that are lost, or they're the different kind, right? So this is another thing that you need to start thinking about as you start to work more and more percent problems. There's always a part that you win, and there's always a part that you lose. That's just the name of the game. Let's try again. Look at number 4. I've already circled one of them for you, and we already can easily label that as the percent. The only number left is 15. I need you to decide, is that the part or the whole? All right. What did you decide? Did you read the information? At a construction job, there are 15 painters. Okay. They didn't say anything. They didn't qualify that. They just said there are 15 painters. So if there are 15 painters, that's all the painters. That's everybody. So that's the whole. Again, remember, the whole point of this is that if you're labeling part, whole, and percent, if you know what each number represents, then it has a specific spot that it's going to go on the triangle. And if you know exactly where each item goes on the triangle, then the math is already will be told to you. That's what's wonderful about the triangle is the diagram tells you exactly what math problem to do. But if you label your information correctly and it goes in the wrong spot, you will be doing the wrong math problem and you'll get the wrong answer. Okay, let's do one more example. Look at number 5. You've been given two numbers. I want you to look at those two numbers and decide which one is what. Decide whether that number is the part, whole, or the percent for each one. Go ahead and try number 5. All right, did you come back? All right, taking a look at number 5, we've been given the number 16 and we've been given the number 4. I'm going to go ahead and know, I know the percent was not given to me. So I know I'm missing the percent. I know the percent is not up there, so I don't even worry about it. What's missing? The percent, definitely, but I don't care about that. What I care about is what is the 16? What is the 4? All right, you ready? What did you call the 16? What name did you give it? Part or whole? You should have called it the whole. At a store, sweaters typically cost $16. Well, that's all the cost, right? That's the whole cost. That's everything. That's the whole. However, they're on sale for $4. Well, that's the part. They're on sale just for a part of the original money, right? So that makes this the part. So again, you got to continue to practice. There's plenty of other practice deciding whether you have the part, whole, or percent. And once you can clearly do this, it does take of the training for percentage, this is the thing that you need to put some time into. There's plenty of other questions here. So why don't you go ahead and take a look at these and stop and pause the video and decide, was I given the part or the whole on each of these items? What's the 36? What's the 18? What's the 9? What's the 50? What's the 90? Go ahead and do that for each one, and then I will label each one for you. Go ahead and pause the video. Okay, I'm now just going to put the name W whole, 16 part, 9 part, 50%, 9,000 part, 50%. And if you're like, I'm getting these wrong, you need to go back and reread the questions, okay? Reread. I'm just going to show you the correct answers. Part, percent, part, whole. So again, I've given you the answers. If you're unsure, if you got any of them correct, please reread because it's the reading that you have to practice to make sure that you can do this effectively.